Hey, what's up? I'm here. It's me, Mir here. Let's go. It's Monday, March 16th. March 16th. Okay, yeah, it's Power Hour. Boom, 12 o'clock. 3 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to see this Power Hour. Watching NVIDIA GTCs talking about a whole bunch of AI native companies that nobody knows about. So that's some good information. We're going to learn about this. Just tapping into the NVIDIA GTC event. SPY looks pretty bullish. This looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Let me see. I don't really know what to do with that. All right. So we got the market here. We gapped up. Nice little bit. Looks really good. I think, was this that move last week? Yeah, this is that. No. Okay. So we got this gap here, this previous gap, and we rejected here on Friday. We closed at the low. We gapped above, and we rejected similarly. Now we're kind of consolidating. Nice little rising, nice little bull flag look, and somewhat of like a bullish confirmation or bullish uh, above this VWAP here. It's holding. We'll see what it does during power hour. It could go either way. We might actually want to spike up. I'm not gonna lie. I have a bullish bias here. I not worried about oil being down 8%, Bitcoin being up 8%. Talking about securing the Strait of Hormuz, all these things that are really important right now with the market and the jitters with the oil prices going up in the past several weeks. So my account is $59.77. I had to reset it because I took a couple bad trades last week and kind of got cooked during power hour on some zero DTE on whatever, Thursday, Friday. Can't remember. So maybe there won't be a trade here today. I'm not really expecting there to be one. I'm just gonna kind of watch this chart, and I'm gonna go through a few things, talk about some psychology about trading with $50 and what it really means, and what I'm really trying to do here. I'm really just doing this to document what's possible and document um, my my skill level. I won't say expertise or anything, but my 5 6 years of constant daily experience with the markets and trading, and plenty of losses and terrible uh, risk management and position sizing and all the things that you're not supposed to do for a few years. A lot of it was fueled by big wins and big losses on the squeeze back in 2021 with AMC and GameStop. Really kind of messed up my psychology, and I went down a road of just kind of just slapping the market, slapping calls and puts at the wrong time over and over without really being systematic or being calculated or really caring too much about the outcome. And so that's different now. But yeah, so just gonna kind of let the market play out during this power hour. We'll see what's going on. See, no, I'm trying to see. I don't really have a good way to use my mouse right now. I'm not gonna mark the chart up or anything like that. I just have a couple SMAs, just 150 SMA in the VWAP. That's really all you need just to get a sense of direction on the day. And you don't really need anything more than that. I mean, even that's too much. Like the VWAP alone is enough, and price action is great itself because price action is just uh, reaction. These overnight prices are just crazy these days. Like every night we gap up or gap down and kind of screws the kind of gives us an imbalance every day. which is, I don't know if it's good or bad, but these moves would be nice if it happened right at the open. Like if we opened and then got the move. It used to be more like that. Let me see. So things should be good. I don't know actually. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Oh yeah. That's fine. 669. It's been in the same spot for like 2 weeks now, I think. SPY. It's been sitting around 670 for a while. All right. The thing about the $50 account and the thing about 50 trading with $50 is, see, it has a lot to do with has a lot to do with has more to do with time in the trade rather than your position size. So your position size is basically irrelevant with such a small amount. So the only thing that actually matters is the entry and exit. And ideally, with a small account, and we're looking to trade momentum, we're looking to capitalize on short-term price action that's highly confirmed, and basically the opportunities where the trades are almost throwing themselves at you. The market's giving you money almost. That's the opportunities that you're looking for. And then to do that, you're looking for late entries and early exits. So this is something I thought about, and I think that taking a late entry with minimal time in trade, regardless of position size, is more ideal, and taking an early exit in terms of scalping rather than exposure to time in the trade outside of a minute, 2 minutes. Every second that passes truly holds a compounding weight with the way that option contracts move with their intrinsic deflation. So basically, with trading options that are cheap, you want to take a late entry that's already confirmed, and you want to take an early exit before the move even rejects. You just want to capture a middle section of a leg and of a trade. And obviously, looking at the chart here, there's not really too much of that, but there are plenty of opportunities to do that. But yeah, I mean, looking at this chart here, I mean, I wish I could see a little bit clearer the pre-market and take it away. I could actually do that. No, this is regular trading hours. Okay, we're good. Yeah, so the trades I would be looking for, like for an example on this chart, would be probably only on a day like this where we have an extended move, and then we come back and reject this VWAP here. Basically, this move right here, this break below this structure, is like the only opportunity that gives you that type of position where you can take a late entry, early exit. You would enter it right here or at the bottom of this close, and then you would be getting out like relatively quickly. This is only like $1 move. And like in a situation like this, if it moves, this is kind of a sketchy spot, but tomorrow there will probably be an opportunity somewhere up in here, and that's what I'll be looking for. So this is looking pretty good. no trade for me today. Probably not, but so that's the kind of trade that I would be looking for, is trades that have this confirmation. Like right here, this would be like a early entry. Uh, the late entry that I'm talking about would be like if we close up here. If we close right here over 672, really, like we close right here, then the late entry on this, if this was a trade, it would be a trade from 672 something to 673 something, and it would just be a scalp on this momentum. If this were momentum that actually went, I need to have these volume bars here because I can't see the volume. Let me see. Why don't I have volume on the chart? I don't like that. Let me see something. I don't remember where volume is at here. Let's see. It says volume. No, that's just the one on the top though. That's whatever. I don't understand how it's like this on, because if I add the indicator for volume like that on here, I can't really do it right now. But if I were to do it, it would be it would like mess up the chart and it would look weird, even though it should just be like right here, low key. It's whatever. So there's no candle close with no confirmation. This is just a fake bounce here, but it's nothing really. But yeah, so that's the idea. So late entries, early exits, position size doesn't matter until my account gets until I win a couple trades. Then okay, then position size will possibly come into play in a very small way. But time and trade is way more important. So the moment that you enter the trade, you have to really hit a timer. Like you should really get like a 60-second timer or something in a situation like this, and hit the timer for 60 seconds when you enter the trade, when you believe there's confirmation. And if it goes against you in those 60 seconds, then you're simply took the wrong entry, and you probably took an early entry, not a late entry. And so that's really going to be the battle with these trades that I'm going to be taking. It's going to be focusing on trying to get out fast, trying to get in at the right time, and obviously the position size has to be right. So not only do I have to get a late entry on momentum, but I have to capture a contract that fits within my budget of only $59.77. So it's pretty difficult, but that's the challenge. But the whole idea is that when you trade properly and when you have an outsized strategy rather than a risk to reward strategy, then you're gonna see how like that one trade that I missed last week, it went like 3,000%. That like never really happens, but for example, that kind of a trade in Power Hour, if you so luckily capture a move like that, or even a smaller amount of it, then that changes a lot of it changes the aspects of how you can trade this account. And with only $50, you can make it to 500. Then things become much easier, and you'll see that. I'm going to show exactly what that looks like. And further, what is this? Mr. Jensen, King Jensen, is talking about, he's got the leather jacket on. He's talking, let's see. What's he talking about? Yeah, he dropped a list of the most pure play AI companies. I took a screenshot. Let me see, I'll name a couple of them off. I don't know. I already know most of these companies because I've been studying all these AI companies and software for a minute now. Momento, Nero, Pony. We know Pony AI. That stock was going crazy last year, but that's a Chinese automaker. Waymo, Wave, those are both e-taxis. Bluefin Core Synthesia, Sierra, Decagon, 11 Labs. These are audio, customer support. I can't even read some of these. Recursive Intelligence? Is that actually? Someone called their company Recursive Intelligence for engineering. Okay, there we go. Recursive Intelligence, a company you have never heard of. Here we go. Beyond 4Auth, Beyond 4 Authentication. There we go. We got a bunch of interesting companies here. Arc Institute, Bolts, Edison. What kind of Edison? I don't know about that. Chai Discovery? What is healthcare? Okay. Robotics, AGI Bot, Figure Robot, RAI, Field AI, Generalist Physical Intelligence, Pi Company. It was Pi 2 days ago. Pi Day. They're missing Agility Robotics, which is Amazon's. They don't have Agility Robotics, which is Amazon's. Well, they have Agile Robots. I don't know if that's the same company, but it's called Agility Robotics. It's Amazon's robot company for they're building to replace their drivers, delivery drivers, and they already have a lot of robots from Agility Robot in their warehouses. I've seen them in person. Perplexity, AI for search, u.com. Never checked out u.com. I don't know what u.com is. Interesting. Brave browser. Okay, cool. Cognition, Cursor, Factory, Greptile, Lovable, OpenCode, OpenHands, CodeRabbit. These are all for software development. A lot of companies, wow. And then all the model builders. XAI, Cohere, DeepSeek, Mistral, Midjourney, Flexion, Qwen, Anthropic, Humans and Inception, OpenAI, AI2, Gemma, Black Forest Labs. Oh, I know about Black Forest Labs. That's a really interesting one, actually. Their design is just great. Black Forest is actually like some like philosophical thing. I can't remember what it is, but it's like some engineering thing. But it has to do with like some mystery or some weird mystical stuff over here. Yeah. NVIDIA GTC, this is crazy. The world is changing extremely fast. Bitcoin is gonna surprise everyone. I was up late last night and I was thinking and I speculated that if the dollar is devalued over 90% over 100 years, which it is, it's actually more like 97%. So it's something you would have bought $100 item in 1924 would cost like 1900 today. There's like 19 times, there's 95% loss of value. But Bitcoin, on the other hand, I would speculate instead of decreasing in value, Bitcoin or the dollar is deflationary and it devalues around 90% in 90 years on average. Bitcoin, I think, and this is all speculation, there's no real mathematic, I didn't formulate it, calculate anything. Bitcoin, I would assume, would rise 9,000% in 100 years. That's same 90, 100 years. And that may sound crazy. And I'm not saying 9,000% from where it is now. Although if it went 9,000% from where it is now, the price of Bitcoin would be, I think, the price of Bitcoin, I think, would 60 something million, 67 million per Bitcoin. It'd be 67 million, something like that, if it went 9,000% from now. And the market cap of Bitcoin would be 4 quadrillion, like 4,000 trillion. So, I mean, but we're talking about 100 years. So, I mean, you can't really discount any speculation like that. But I think there's a reason why, there's a deeper reason why I think that's possible and why I think it's reasonable. And I'm not saying 4 quadrillion, but But Bitcoin 9,000% from maybe very close to where we are now, but maybe not all the way down because, as you know, Bitcoin's up over 1,000,000% since it was created back in 2009. And Bitcoin, I don't know for sure the exact number, but I'm sure it's a couple million%, if anything. But going from a few pennies to $100,000. So that 9,000%, what that means is that we can offset the deflation of the dollar over time, and we could create a surplus by pegging the dollar to Bitcoin and pegging Bitcoin to the real economy. Something like this I was thinking about last night. Just a random thought, but I think that there's something possibly there. Obviously there's risk. We've had a gold standard. There's a lot of risk in speculative times with situations like that, but I think the future is wide open, and there's a lot of opportunity for things to change and opportunities in the market, which is why I'm here. There's no trade there. You see that reject 672. I mean, what could you expect? If it closed over 672, then it actually would have been a trade. So the key to this challenge, though, is to not lose a trade, not lose like 2 out of 3 the first 3 trades, because if I lose 2 out of 3 trades in the beginning, then the account kind of gets cooked, and then it's almost impossible to recover a $9 account, which is what happened last week. And I had to redeposit $50, so that's why I'm at $59.77. But it's all in the game. It's nothing to really be worried about or be mad about. Missing that insane trade that went a couple thousand%, that definitely makes me frustrated, but it's really no big deal. It's really nothing. It sounds like someone's fighting upstairs. What's going on? Nobody answers. Only 2 people voted on my poll to say Bitcoin's going to 50K, not 100K first. I disagree with them, even though I think that, and I predicted a couple months, or at the beginning of this month, that Bitcoin would stagnate with inflation for the next 4 months, which is kind of a muted prediction, if anything. At the same time, I'm predicting SPY to go up 5% between March 1st and July 1st, the second quarter. So that's what I think. I think SPY is going to be at 700 plus by July, easily. But Bitcoin, I think that it's still going to be below 100K, which is what I mean when I say Bitcoin's going to stagnate with inflation. I think that inflation's at 2.5, or not 2.5. Real inflation is like 1%. To be honest, trueflation is like 1% or less. I haven't checked it actually in the past week, but inflation's not going to do anything. Even if oil is volatile, I don't think inflation's going to do much. The Fed's already cut rates a couple times, and they're just like sitting on their hands. Okay. Okay, cool. I don't really know how this works at all. Gigawatt data centers coming to your neighborhood. Nasty candle on Nvidia. That's why SPY did that. Nvidia tried to break out, rejected 188, 189, and there's no trade on the SPY here. No trade on the SPY, but SPY is going to be ready for me tomorrow. I'm going to try to trade. I'm going to try to be there at the open tomorrow until lunch. Look for some opportunities that are outside of the power hour. Reduce risk. That's the only way I can reduce risk right now, actually, because I can't change the position size. The only thing I can affect is the time in trade and when I trade or if I trade. Those are the only things I can control. So if I trade in the morning, I have better probabilities, in my opinion, trading a cheap contract that's a few dollars out the money after the first hour versus trading in power hour when I could make more, but I can also get burnt really fast and lose 50% of a position, which in this situation, I really can't afford to just blow the account like that, even though it's definitely doable. But the goal is to avoid it. The goal is to move away from that risk and get to the point where there is no risk of failure. There is no risk of losing the account. There is no risk of ever going back. The point of trading is not to get rich today, it's to never be broke again. And that's what we're doing. Not to get rich today, but to never be broke again. So, don't sit on your hands, stand on your decisions. So make one. Take action. Stay active. I need to get outside and go on a run today or some shit. I haven't been active. I need to go on a run and get active. I need to do some more exercises today. I don't go to the gym like that, but I should go on a run. There, Ruben. Let me see the VIX real quick. VIX back down to 23, yep. It was over 30 bucks for like 2 seconds. So no confirmation of the VIX over 30 means that we're not in a recession, means we're not going down 5% right away. We already went down like 3% on the SPY. We didn't hit 5% pullback, I don't think. But this is good. VIX down to 23. It's in a big range, like it's really moving. It's looking like a head and shoulders. Here's a shoulder, here's a head, shoulder. So tomorrow the opportunity is going to be in here. It's going to be, hopefully the trade tomorrow will be somewhere in here. If we gap down and we go down to here, then this is probably going to go lower. Definitely. If we go down, if we get all the way back down here, that's just gonna be a bad look. But this looks pretty good, actually. This is on a 5-minute chart though, so it's not that relevant, but if we gap up tomorrow, or if we open and we break 672, there is a trade. I'll have to zoom out and look at a bigger chart later. But don't forget about CPUs. The GPUs are great, but don't forget about CPUs. I invest in Intel for that reason. I can't stop thinking about what's going to happen to Intel and PayPal. What's going to happen to PayPal? Is Elon going to acquire PayPal? Is X going to acquire PayPal? Or is X just going to do their PayX, their XPay, X Money account totally separate? They probably don't want whatever PayPal has, honestly. So acquiring them would probably be a burden. So what's going to happen to PayPal? Who knows? But what's going to happen to Intel? I think Intel and MU is acquiring sites over in Taiwan. So I mean, somehow we need to bring it home. Build more artificial intelligence materials and chips. At home. Like really the only company that can do that is Intel, or maybe I don't know, maybe I don't know, MU and Nvidia. Amazon has some fabs. But there's something to Intel, I think, and I'm investing into Intel and Tesla. Intel and Tesla are Intel, Tesla, SoFi, Rivian, Lucid are my biggest investments long term. And I think Lucid, it's a very speculative bet, but I think Lucid is one of those companies, one of those opportunities that if you invest into a company like Lucid and Rivian's obviously much better, but I do like Lucid and I see them where I live. I think that Lucid, if it does play out in the fullness, then it's going to be a huge winner. We're talking about 100 bagger on Rivian and Lucid, probably 200 bagger on Lucid or Rivian. To be honest, they're probably either one of them eventually becomes a $1 trillion company because electrification is real. Obviously, Trump is pulling back from the electric vehicle mandate, which kind of sucks, but it's also reasonable because not everybody is adopting so quickly. But in the fullness, electric vehicles are going to be so massive. And maybe Tesla just wipes them out, but maybe there's also something to that competition with those three companies, Rivian, Lucid, and Tesla, that they can all find a way and serve different demands, supply different people who have different ideas. You know, some people don't like Elon, and maybe those people buy Rivian because they like RJ. People who don't like that, maybe they just get a Lucid because, you know, they have some other reason. Lucid is great. I like their cars. They seem great. They're expensive though. I do think electric vehicles are an outsized bet investment for the next 10, 20 years. Probably make way more money investing in electric vehicles than a lot of things. I won't say anything specific. Definitely going to outperform the market if you just invest into technology innovation. I mean, I'd like someone to argue that. Computing demand will be extremely high. This market today is real sideways though. Tomorrow, hopefully, we can break out of this little range, get a nice trade tomorrow. Tuesday, technical Tuesday. We need a technical breakout. Kind of got one today, and tomorrow we get a real confirmation though. If we go higher, over 692. If we go lower, then don't know. If we go lower, then we'll have to reassess. Open source everything. We need open source day trades, man. We need open source investments. I think Vlad from Robinhood is actually working on that. He's got a social network on Robinhood that's gonna allow you to share your positions in your portfolio with real verified trades and investments and gains, losses. That's gonna be big. It's a good little software idea to build, but I had an idea like that, but I'm not really building software right now. I'm doing like writing and trying to do educational stuff rather than creating new stuff that didn't exist. But I think trade verification and like a blockchain for trading, a blockchain for trade verification. Like think about like TradeZella, but on the blockchain. Think about TradeZella, but on the blockchain. So just think about that. We can have TradeZella with all your trade connected directly to your broker. It's anonymous, but it is connected to you and you can verify it, and your trades are verified. All your activities verified on the blockchain, if you so choose it to be, because it should be a choice. And then people could prove whether they actually make money trading or whether they are just lying. But it's easy to make money trading when you have money though. So when you don't have money, it's one of the hardest things to do, to go from nothing to something with a small account, or when you don't know how to trade or how to manage capital. And there's a lot of nuance, there's a lot of opacity. There's a lot of layers of abstraction from the reality and the truth, especially on financial matters in the market and people who sell a dream. But it's not always selling a dream. A lot of the times people genuinely want to help other people learn how to do something and how to go in the right direction or learn things that they've already learned. But sometimes it may come off the wrong way, or they do it without actually being qualified to. And so eventually it catches up when they're not just winning all the time, or when the people who pay for skills don't acquire them. I would not take SPY puts. I mean, you can do what you want, but I'm looking at a bullish move for tomorrow in my ideal scenario, just based on what I'm looking at. If that invalidates, then we'll be looking at a 1 hour, 4 hour chart to determine where we are. Is there a trend change on SPY? I don't think so. I can't really. I don't know why it doesn't let me change the time frame here. It only lets me change it by minutes. I don't like this. I don't really know why it's like this. It's because I put it in full screen, but then it doesn't let you take it back. So I'll figure that out later. SPY US dollar. I don't know why, for some reason, this stupid chart doesn't like. I almost have to like open a new tab to be able to do that. It's fine, I'll do it later. I gotta figure out how I can actually do charting on there. I need a mouse actually. I'll get one for tomorrow. NVIDIA Extreme Co-Design Revolution. What? I'm way off. Okay. Efficiency drives company results, period. It's a good one. Efficiency drives company results. That's what it's all about. The efficiency revolution. Inference, performance, and efficiency drive company results. I love that quote. I love that quote. I just don't like franchise businesses. I'm totally against it. I think franchise businesses are annoying. I think they're basically a scam. I think that the least that a franchise business could do is offer equity to employees and offer something more than minimum wage. That's just my opinion coming from someone who's worked for minimum wage for a long time. Equity matters. Being a stakeholder as an employee matters. And if you don't have that, then a lot of things are out the window. And I think that's a necessary change that should be addressed by companies. Who franchise their business. We can get more expansion, more growth, more distribution, more spending, more value, more transactions, more profit, more life. Oh, NVIDIA is going crazy right now today. Oh my gosh, it got Rubin GPU. Jensen's like a one-man army. Red candles. Ew. I don't like red candles. That's insane. The context window is insane now with 288 gigabytes. 288 gigabytes of memory on chip or on the transistor. I don't know exactly. There is a point where the context window reaches where it no longer serves any further. And I don't know if we're nearing that, but it seems like once we reach that, the thing that people call general intelligence is more likely to appear as soon as that context window is nearly infinite or reaches a certain level. The problem with it is that the bigger context window means the longer inference. So we have to create like some efficiency. It's like a human will think for more than a couple minutes about anything that they actually think. But except for like when you're trying to solve a problem or trying to create something new or unique. So maybe like in that situation, people will spend hours or days researching and process of elimination using scientific method and all these different tactics to find a solution or to even get a signal. And then to have that in the humanoid form, we can then create efficiency like never before. NVIDIA Grok 3 LPX. Samsung manufacturing. Supercomputer, man. Super cluster. The chart on SPY is really boring. Gotta get some movement tomorrow. Confirmation, get a break. Probably looking at like a 30-minute orb, hour orb. See what it looks like tomorrow morning. Yeah. I don't see Intel listed on their board, the NVIDIA's board of companies and partners. I don't see Intel listed. I'm looking for it. I'm just curious. Samsung manufactures the Grok chip. Yeah. Market closes in 8 minutes. Pretty boring day. I'm glad I didn't get on in the morning, actually. Would have been boring. SMCI, big. They build the racks. They don't build the chips. They don't build the software. They just build the racks. Okay. They sell shovels. Shout out to the Vera CPU. Shout out to Samsung. More server racks coming. I really want to work, or at least I want to tour an AI factory so bad. It's one of my goals in life is to go, probably in like 20 years though, because I want to go into like, I really have like a vision. I have like this vision of like a massive data center that's like beyond like beyond like scale. Right, you walk in and it's just the biggest building that you've ever seen ever, and it's just so big and filled with advanced technology, and it's like pure, like everything is so so pristine. I just have like a vision of walking into a data center in the future that's like so massive that just blows your mind. And yeah, that's one of my goals is to check out one of these insane AI factories or work in one for a couple months would be cool. I'm really fascinated by the data centers. You think about how people talk about like all these RMF waves coming off their phone and all this weird stuff, like they gotta hide their face from the phone. And then like I'm like I want to go inside the data center like just straight raw, like just with millions of computers around me. Like I want to do that. Like we have people with Neuralinks that are able to control things and use their cognition that they wouldn't have been able to do before with a Neuralink chip. So I don't know, the whole RMF thing, the whole like thing people talk about cell phones and all this weird stuff. I'm not a proponent of any of that. I think if anything, like we should be inclined to integrate technology similar to Neuralink. There's really no reason not to. In the fullness of time, it's the only thing that you can do is to adapt. That's about it. Adapt, adhere, and coexist. Yep. I want to go see that AI factory so bad. I'll give it some time though. I want them to get bigger and bigger. But I think they're sending astronauts towards the moon as well, like next week or next month. That's really exciting. I was reading about it. I think they have it's called Artemis, something like that. I can't remember exactly. We're about to send astronauts back towards the moon. It's so good. Can't wait. Can't wait to go to space and go to the moon. All right. Okay, the market's closing in 2 minutes. Wow. And the SPY up 1.02%, 669 still. 669.06. QQQ at 640. Right at 600. What was that? MES. Nebius up 15%. Wolf Speed up 10%. Circle 9%. Circle Robotics 8%. SanDisk 6%. CoreWeave up 5.8%. MSTR Strategy up 6%. And isn't Bitcoin up? Bitcoin's flat, 0.5%, but it's at 75. Okay. Bitcoin's still up 8% on the week. SPY closing over 669. If we gap up tomorrow, we catch a dip, and then we rip. $1 market close. Ding 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 ding. Okay. I got another dentist appointment right now too in an hour, so I gotta get going. I'm gonna go get ready for this dentist appointment. I gotta go do a cleaning, I guess. I don't know, something like that. Have a great rest of the day. Be back tomorrow morning at the market open. Look for trading at this $59 account. Once again, continue. Have a great rest of the day.